Welcome to the Sports Whip. I'm Beth Kincaid. Corey and the boys are going to recap the big football weekend that was in the SEC, plus review all the key matchups for this weekend. And let's not forget our college pick'em. This is the Sports Whip.
Welcome to the Sports Whip. I'm joined by Alex Lake and Dom Rodriguez. We're back for another episode of the world-famous Sports Whip. Maybe not world-famous, maybe regionally famous, but for our own egos, it works. Exactly, there we go. A couple topics this week. We're going to review a few games. We're going to preview a few games in the SEC and the nation as a whole. Let's start off Ole Miss, Alabama. 22-3 final in favor of Alabama. Was this what you guys expected?
No, I expected a much more impressive performance out of the Ole Miss offense, but the only bright spot if you're an Ole Miss fan, you can look at is the defense. Defense was great. Offense has a lot more to be desired for.
Same thing, I agree, Alex. I thought that the Ole Miss offense was going to come out and at least show up to the game, but they apparently didn't. The defense, though, looked great, and just not what I expected. Kind of a real letdown.
Right, absolutely. And it just seems like the offense has turned inept at this point, and it's not something that, as Ole Miss fans, was basically anybody in the SEC really expected at this point. We expected the offense to be clicking the way it was the second half of the season last year, and it just hasn't gotten done. Right. Another game we want to talk about that happened this weekend was the Florida-LSU game, a 13-3 final, Florida with the win in Baton Rouge. The game was a little bit closer than I expected it to be.
You look at the game on paper, and it was close, but if you actually watch the game, you could tell that it really wasn't that close of a game. The Florida's defense is just it's a great defense, but the LSU's offense has a lot to work on.
Yeah, again, I agree with Alex. Watching that game, I thought that the game being at LSU at night, that there's that little mystique factor, with that, and their defense, at times, it just seemed they couldn't stop the Florida offense. So, and the offense, Jordan Jefferson he's not where he needs to be right now.
And that's the first time LSU's lost at home in a night game, and it's been a few years now.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and preview some games this weekend, and this is a matchup between two top 25 teams in the SEC, the Alabama Crimson Tide, who were just here last weekend, and the South Carolina Gamecocks. You usually wouldn't say that this game would be necessarily close, the way Alabama's playing right now. But South Carolina's not playing badly. They've lost one game, and it was to Georgia. They could arguably be one play away from being undefeated at this point in the season. And it's a Steve Spurrier coach team. Is anything really certain going into this weekend?
Right, that's the kicker. It's a Steve Spurrier type team.
Right.
You never know with Steve Spurrier. He's been coming out this week saying, hey, we're really looking forward to Vanderbilt next week. Well, that's not true. This is a Steve Spurrier coach team.
Right.
They'll be ready to play, even though I still feel like Alabama's the better team and they will still win. Steve Spurrier will have his team ready to play.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be ready to go, but after watching Alabama play us, I don't know. I think it'll be a good game, but I still think Alabama comes out on top. That defense is just ridiculous.
Now we're going to go around the nation with a few games now that we've pretty much talked about the biggest game in the SEC this weekend. We're going to go on to Oklahoma, Texas from the Cotton Bowl, which is where the only game really that they're keeping at the Cotton Bowl Stadium now that the bowl game is being moved to Jerry World in Arlington. Now we sit here and we're going to talk a little bit about Oklahoma, Texas. Sam Bradford's back. But what does that mean? Texas has kind of underachieved with Colt McCoy so far.
Right, but I still feel like Texas is probably the better team. Sam Bradford had a great game last week against Baylor, I believe. But, I don't believe this is just not the game that he can get really back on track.
Exactly.
Even though Texas might not have a great defense, as is the case with most Big 12 defenses.
I like Texas in this game, but I'm telling you why. I like their special teams. Jordan Shipley has outstanding speed. He has great vision. If you watched the game against Colorado last week, he outran all 11 defenders on defense using that speed and his vision. So I think he ran one back against them, Oklahoma last year too in this game. So I think special teams is going to be a big factor, in this weekend's game.
And our last national game that we're going to talk about is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the USC Trojans. And in the offseason, everybody talking about Charlie Weis, how a lot of people were saying, some of the experts were saying, Notre Dame could be undefeated and their only test would have been this game against USC. Well, they've got a loss already. They've had to squeak a couple games out by just a couple points. Now USC is there to take care of business with Pete Carroll. The team is seemingly healthy with Matt Barkley, I'm assuming, back at quarterback. What do you think is going to happen here?
Right. I think a lot of people are underestimating this Notre Dame team, even though I feel like USC is probably going to come out on top. And, Charlie Weis has been saying this week, this might be a must-win game for me. And it might be for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for their national championship hopes. But I feel like USC obviously has the better defense. And obviously, they have a pretty good quarterback with Matt Barkley.
Yeah, I like USC too. Their defense, they have so much speed just on both sides of the ball, and plus I like to take into account the Stephon Johnson factor. He's out of the hospital now, and I think they're really going to rally around him and win that one for him. So I think USC comes out on top.
We did a take it or leave it segment the past few weeks, and we're going to see what we can do this week. You guys ready to go?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, few topics. Take it or leave it. Right now, Jevin Sneed is among the most, I don't know how to say this, worst quarterbacks in the SEC performance-wise. I know it's hard to say that now, but is that something that we can really talk about?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take this, okay? I look right down south in Starkville, Mississippi, where you've got a very subpar quarterback in Tyson Lee. There's no way he's the worst quarterback in the SEC. Obviously, he's underperforming.
Right.
But that is something that can be fixed. He's got 7 more games where he's got to get on track.
Yeah, I'd say don't worry about it. He'll get back to where he needs to be.
I think he's going to be fine too, but whether people know this or not, statistically, Jevin Sneed is underperforming Jonathan Crompton of Tennessee. And that guy's basically been the punchline of pretty much all quarterback jokes in the Southeast. Not only just in Mississippi where we talk about Tyson Lee and Jevin Sneed. Next topic, after these 2 losses, is the season lost for Ole Miss?
No, absolutely not. Maybe if you talk to other Ole Miss fans, they might say, hey, the season might be lost, because obviously a lot of people came in this year saying, hey, we might have a national championship hope. And now we've come out, first got 5 games, and we've lost 2, and everyone's trying to freak out. Well, let's remember that Ole Miss has only lost 2 games. So their season is still in hope. What would be wrong with another Cotton Bowl trip?
Right.
This season's not lost. There's a lot of football left to play. Like you said, Alex, we only lost 2 games, so we have a long way to go before you can say the season was a wash.
We talked about quarterback plays a second ago, and now we're going to ask: does Nathan Stanley or any other backup, preferably Nathan Stanley, does he need to see any snaps?
I think if for some reason Jevin Sneed came out in the first half and had somewhat of what he had the first half against Alabama, I think it might be time to give Nathan Stanley a couple of snaps. But as of right now, Jevin Sneed's our quarterback, and you just got to let him play it out as far as I'm concerned.
We talked about this on the Hotty Toddy Hotline last week after the game. I think that Nathan Stanley should start the UAB game, and then you put Sneed in after. Maybe it's just something to light a fire under him, get him ready to go.
That'd definitely be interesting. And Alabama was the game this past weekend. Upon seeing Alabama in person, are they the best team in the nation?
Yes, I believe they are. Okay, without studying many other teams outside of the SEC, most notably you have Florida, who looks like the real deal down in Death Valley last Saturday night. But with Alabama's special teams, defense, and maybe a little offense, I think they are the best team in the SEC, which means they're the best team in the